Hey everyone, and welcome back to the next episode of my Resident Evil inspired game dev project. Things are getting exciting because I'm currently in the heavy preparation for the announcement of the game. But more on that later. Let's dive straight into the progress. One core feature of most games is some form of inventory where you store items you find in the world. You then use these collected items to craft all kinds of useful things. This will also be a crucial part in my game. The only way to gather new items will be through enemy drops or crafting. So an inventory is essential in my game as well. I had a couple of inventory ideas but eventually settled for a grid-based one. There are different sections in your inventory, 3 for specific items like meds, throwables and guns, and 1 for generic stuff like crafting material or ammunition. The way you craft new items is actually pretty straightforward. You simply drag and drop items onto each other. They then fuse into a new item if they can be combined, making them also move in a slot that is intended for them. You can then press certain buttons to consume items laying in these sections. The way the UI works is also pretty straightforward. I mostly built a system based on a tutorial from CodeMonkey and made use of Unity's drag and drop interfaces. I spiced up the overall feel of the UI by using springs again, and also DoTween, which is an excellent free tweening library for Unity. The feedback upon crafting isn't final, but fine for now. Paired with the inventory, I added a knife mechanic which lets you, knife things. You could use it in melee combat, but will most likely need it for destroying crates to get a juicy loot in most cases. I implemented this pretty easily thanks to the abstraction of weapons. My knife is inheriting from my base class weapon, which makes the integration very easy. I highly recommend getting comfortable with object orientation and inheritance, because it's so useful for bigger systems. I reworked the movement system once again after playing the Resident Evil 2 remake. Your new default locomotion is walking again, but your new sprinting locomotion will be the jog instead of an intense sprint like in the very beginning of this project. The sprinting won't drain any stamina though, so you can permanently move quicker if you want to. The new movement makes everything feel a bit slower, which I really like. I also got rid of one of the demo's biggest flaw, being unable to sprint to left and right. This is now possible. What separates my game from any other zombie third-person shooter is the ability to give tactical orders to your teammates. A big inspiration is the order system from the game Star Wars Republic Commando, and I finally got a basic system working. The general idea is that there is a certain type of task which has to be worked on by an NPC. The player can now assign a teammate to that task by aiming at the task and giving the order. The NPC then moves to the task and fulfills that task after a set amount of time. In this example, I want an AI teammate to open a door for me, so I give him the order and wait until the task has been finished. After he fulfills the task, the AI teammate returns to the default state, which is following the player. I made sure to expose many Unity events so I can easily create custom tasks later on. Also, teammates are now aware of your intention to shoot and act accordingly. They try to prevent friendly fire by ducking if you aim in their direction. I also been finally working on the first enemies. The first and rather simple enemy will be a combat drone. Its behavior is pretty simple. It will follow a set path and aggro on you once you're in range. I've also been working on a zombie-like enemy. This one is rather tricky because he is implemented in a mix of using basic animations and a ragdoll behavior, also known as active ragdoll. But I haven't made any further progress except him losing his will to stand. The last thing I did was roughing up the visuals by tuning a bunch of the post-processing, but I'm also still experimenting with the art style overall. My current post-processing stack consists of screen space cavity, vignette, color grading, lens flares, and light streaks. Now, last thing I want is different assets and art styles clashing with each other, which is where I need your help here. The following gameplay shows the arrival of the squad in the lab area and is roughly the vibe and tone I want to go for. So that's why I would like you to give me a dead honest opinion on it. What do you feel and think when watching the following scene? Please let me know in the comments. I want to gather feedback because I am in the heavy preparations for my Steam launch. I already set up a Steam page and hired an artist who takes care of my Steam capsule art and the game's logo. Also, a fellow sound designer / composer got in touch with me. He joined the project and will assist me with sound design and music in general throughout the project. I'm really glad to have him. My current focus is the creation of a short but very polished announcement trailer for my game's Steam launch. This is planned for late December and I'm currently well in time. Alright, this already wraps up today's episode. Sorry for the short update, but I got a trailer to make. I hope to see you all soon when I announce my game on Steam. Stay tuned for that. As always, thanks for watching and please don't spill your beer.